Four college students back in 2022. 30-year-old Koberger pleaded guilty earlier this month in a deal to avoid the death penalty. Koberger was a graduate student in criminology at nearby Washington State University. Police arrested him in Pennsylvania, where his parents lived, roughly 6 weeks later. Friends and family members of the victims delivered powerful statements during today's sentencing.
He is a hollow vessel, something less than human. A body without empathy, without remorse. He chose destruction. He chose evil. He feels nothing.
Koberger told the judge he respectfully declined to speak during today's hearing. Also breaking, a doctor pleading guilty to giving Friends actor Matthew Perry ketamine in the month leading up to his death by overdose. Dr. Salvador Plasencia is the fourth of 5 people charged in connection with Perry's death to enter a guilty plea. He's charged with 4 counts of distribution of ketamine. The doctor originally pleaded not guilty, but changed that plea after prosecutors agreed to drop 3 additional charges, including 2 counts of falsifying records. The remaining charges carry a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison. A Long Island man is accused of making explosives and throwing some off the Williamsburg Bridge onto the subway tracks. Haley Fixler, live for us in Soho, breaking down the very latest. And Haley, we've learned that he allegedly hid some of those bombs.
Antoine, yeah, NYPD sources and neighbors tell us that 55-year-old Michael Gann was hiding several of the homemade bombs on the rooftop of this building here behind me on Sullivan Street. Prosecutors say he learned how to make them online. Now, take a look at this. This is video from the rooftop where officials say they found 5 of the explosive devices. You can also see surveillance camera footage showing Gann standing in this exact spot. Now, we spoke with neighbors in the area. They tell us they knew something was going on last month when they saw the FBI and NYPD, but they didn't know how serious it was. Take a listen.
They were looking for things on the roof. I mean, they brought out a bunch of stuff. They had their forensic unit here, and they were up and they brought the team down with whatever they recovered.
And they asked me for my camera footage. I give them everything.
In court documents, we learned officials found Gann and had made numerous internet searches related to bomb making and firearms. And May 30th of this year, they say Gann made a significant number of online purchases, including pounds of chemicals, 200 cardboard tubes, and more than 50 feet of fuses. Prosecutors then say when he first mixed the chemicals in early June, it exploded. Gann then allegedly assembled several IEDs. This 6th IED is the one prosecutors say he threw onto the Williamsburg Bridge subway tracks. You can see it here circled in red. It did not go off. Now, when Gann was arrested on June 5th, officials say they found another device on him. They arrested him near these apartments in Soho. Now, earlier that same day, Gann posted this on Instagram. It says, quote, "Who wants to go out to play like no tomorrow?" So here are the charges Gann is now facing. 1 count of attempted destruction of property by means of explosives, 1 count of transportation of explosive materials, and 1 count of unlawful possession of destructive devices. Together, that's a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison if Gann is found guilty. Now, officials say they are just glad that the NYPD and the FBI were able to work together before something tragic happened. Live in Soho, Antoine, back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Haley. After months of speculation, New York Republican Congressman Mike Lawler announcing he won't run for governor, but will seek re-election to his House seat. Lawler had been teasing a run for the governor's office for months, meeting with Republican leaders and donors across the state. Instead, he says he will run for re-election in his battleground House district up in the Hudson Valley. There are at least 7 Democrats who've already lined up to run against the congressman.
One of the biggest reasons why I never announced earlier was because I actually love the job that I'm doing right now. And so, it wasn't an easy decision. I do believe that I'm best positioned to make the case against Governor Hochul. But ultimately, when I look at all the things that we're dealing with as a country, as a state, I do believe that I'm in a position right now where I can do the most good.
Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik recently made statements that she's eyeing a run for the governorship and says that she will make a decision following November's election. Morgan McKay will actually have more on Lawler's decision on the 5 o'clock news. The New Jersey State Supreme Court has ruled that State Attorney General Matthew Platkin can retain control of the Paterson Police Department. Mayor Andre Saya was part of a lawsuit against Platkin's control and an appellate court judge ruling that the AG lacked the legal authority to seize the police force. The Paterson Police Department has been mired by turmoil, and Platkin took control 2 years ago. He claims under his control, the police department has received more than $20 million in additional state funding. He also says that shooting and other violent crimes have dropped during that time. New York Governor Kathy Hochul announcing $36 million have been awarded to local law enforcement agencies across the state to bolster efforts to reduce gun violence. Speaking at the Police Academy at Suffolk County Community College, Hochul touted the state's GIVE program. GIVE stands for Gun-Involved Violence Elimination and provides law enforcement agencies in 28 communities outside of New York City with state funding to curb gun violence. As a result, between 2021 and 2024, shootings in GIVE districts dropped 52%. Long Island in 2024 had the lowest number of shootings in recent recorded history. A local nonprofit says recent cuts under the president's new spending bill will force them to cancel one of their programs. Fox 5's Stephanie Bertini has more.
Food education and access to a box of healthy produce at a reduced price, recipes, cooking classes, and more. It's all part of a program put in place by the Children's Aid Society. Here in Inwood, organizers say this tent is set up for members of the community, like Lexi Polino.
I usually come every week. It's fresh and it's at a really affordable price. Every week they also do like the nutrition classes and they provide recipes.
She comes to purchase and learn.
I just think that it's a really great resource, especially because in the neighborhood there's a lot of fast food and fried food.
This is all part of the SNAP Ed program, the education program associated with SNAP benefits, which assists with food access.
All of our staff who you see here and our supplies are supported through that federal funding.
Children's Aid Director of the Food and Nutrition Program, Tazy Conk, says the days are numbered.
We're faced with a complete elimination of SNAP Ed.
Recent changes brought on by the Trump administration's passing of the One Big Beautiful bill will directly impact the program. Governor Kathy Hochul warning about the cuts that would come to SNAP Ed as a result of the Big Beautiful bill. The governor's office releasing details, including the law also cuts funds for the SNAP Ed New York program, which promotes healthy eating and efficient use of already modest SNAP benefits by teaching SNAP beneficiaries how to shop for and cook wholesome, healthy meals on a limited budget. As a result, New York will lose $29 million annually that funded this work by 18 community-based organizations throughout the entire state.
Hail.
As for Lexi Polino,
I just found out, I think like a day or two ago, and I think that's really unfortunate.
so obviously Stephanie Bertini, Fox 5 News.
Major changes coming to Uber, the company announcing a program where women passengers can pick female drivers and opt for a ride share with other women. The pilot program is set to begin next week in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Detroit. Uber is saying if a passenger does want a female driver, that the wait time could actually be longer. Also developing right now, the United Nations top court issuing an advisory opinion saying that countries that fail to protect the planet from climate change could actually be in violation of international law and potentially held accountable. Now, this could open up the doors to nations actually taking one another to court and the possibility of reparations actually being paid. It could also lead to potential domestic lawsuits. The UN court called climate change an existential problem of planetary proportions. All right, let's talk about our climate as we take a look outside. And Audrey, we know that there are some clouds moving through, but what about precipitation?
We're going to stay nice and dry, Antoine. It's all courtesy of high pressure, which is dominating our weather for today. So we're in store for a beautiful rest of the day as well as into the evening. Now, tomorrow, we'll generally see a mix of sun and clouds once again. We're expecting another dry day. However, it will be much warmer tomorrow with our highs closing in on 90 degrees in quite a few spots. And that's going to continue for several days as we go into the upcoming weekend. We're also watching a cold front heading in our vicinity. This one's going to help spark off some scattered showers by noontime on Friday. But then in the afternoon, we see showers and thunderstorms firing up. And that's going to be a really hot day with temperatures feeling like the 90s and even close to 100 degrees by then. And then we stay in the 80s as we go into the upcoming weekend. Antoine?
Okay, so Audrey, did you just say close to 100?
That's what it will feel like.
feel like.
Yes.
Okay. All right, just double checking.
Be cool.
Thanks, Audrey. So a New York City pedicab driver getting the surprise of his life when he realized who was riding in the SUV next to him. Check this out.
Next time. Nice. You see, we are playing you, man.
So the pedicab was blasting Billy Joel's 1976 hit New York State of Mind when none other than 5-time Grammy Award-winning Billy Joel was revealed to be in the next vehicle. Surprising the driver and his passengers, they got out of the pedicab, walked up to the SUV, and took selfies with the singer. This turned out to be worth the price that the tourists likely paid for that ride. Just couldn't find Stevie Wonder in the back of that SUV, could you? Anyway, that's your news block for now, everybody. I'm Antoine Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us. Tune into the 5 o'clock news on Fox 5 and right here on the Fox Local app for all of the day's news as it develops. We'll, of course, see you back here tomorrow. Stay safe, everybody.